So, as a lot of you will have already probably seen, the Winter Convergence Festival for 2022 is now live throughout Returnum. I'm going to give you guys a quick guide on what this event is about, how you can get started, and some of the rewards that you will want to look out for. So first things first, you want to get yourself over to one of these winter villages. As you can see, I'm in one right now. You can find these on the map by the winter village symbol. Now once you've actually visited these, you are able to fast travel back to these locations, but the first time that you go there, you'll need to go to the closest shrine. Pretty much all of them are nearby to another shrine, which is pretty cool. You'll find these winter villages in 4 different locations. Those locations are the top right of Weaver's Fen, the top right of Everfall, the bottom middle of Monarch's Bluff, and the top left of Brightwood. Now, whether you are playing on legacy servers or the brand new Fresh Start worlds, you will get a quest from the Winter Wanderer, who is the big Yeti in the middle. You can go up and speak to this guy, and he will have a quest for you, which will be to kill the Winter Warrior, which is the world boss that is associated with this event. Now, you can pick this up from any of the winter villages, and you'll be able to do this only once, but it will get you a start on the reputation. If I open up my shop, you guys will be able to see in the top right, it will give you some rep, and every single time that you kill the Winter Wanderer, subsequently, even after the quest, you will get additional reputation towards your event reputation overall. Now, the Winter Wanderer, similarly to the Nightvale Hallow boss and also the Turculon, will appear on your map in a kind of blue flamed background with this Yeti sort of symbol on his head, and you can go ahead and see where he's spawning. These locations can be in Great Cleave, Brightwood, Eden's Grove, Ebonscale Reach, and Brimstone Sands, which I personally really like the incorporation of the brand new zone with this event. Now, when you go ahead and kill this boss, you will have to fight him with probably around 20 players. Now, on most servers, because at the time of recording this video, the event has just dropped, you're going to be able to find pretty big groups of probably 40 or 50 or more players, and this is making this go pretty fast, as you can see from some of the gameplay in the background. If there's enough players around him, he kind of just stands still and fights you instead of running about, which can be a bit of a bonus. But if you are doing this later on than the first initial week of the release, then you probably want to get yourself a nice group of 20 or more players if you can. Try and find groups in the world chat or whatever and join up, because it's going to be much easier, and you want to go ahead and fight this guy. Now, when you actually kill him, you will get a reward. This reward will be the Warrior's Hail Spikes. Now, these Hail Spikes can be exchanged for tokens in the winter villages, and those tokens can of course be used to purchase rewards. Now, like I mentioned before, you can kill this guy an unlimited amount of times per day. Most of the time you will get 2 Warrior's Hail Spikes as a reward, but you can get 1, you can get 3, or you can get 5, but those are all 10% drop chances. You've got 70% chance at getting 2, so that is going to be your most common one. When you are in the winter villages, you can go over to any of the holiday huts here, and you can exchange your tokens based on what you have. So whether you've got the presents, which are collected from each of the settlements that have a winter village, the main settlements there, so the actual city, for example in Everfall, will have a Christmas tree. If you interact with that, it will give you some coins, a silver bar, and of course some tokens. The other one is, of course, like I mentioned, the Warrior's Hail Spikes. And the third and final way that you can get this is mining Gleamite. For those of you that haven't played a Winter Convergence Festival yet, Gleamite spawns at night. You'll see Gleamite showers coming down from the sky. It is very cool. You'll find loads of Gleamite then all over the floor, which you can go ahead and mine. Which, if you are going to go Gleamite hunting, you definitely want to take some of the event food with you. The event food can be purchased from the Winter Wanderer himself, the Yeti over here. If you go ahead and go to the store, you don't need to be any level. It's the first thing that you unlock, and you want to go ahead and grab one of these. It can be any stat that you want. They have each of the stats, and it's decent food. It's 33 for 25 minutes, which, of course, if you have the Turculon trophy, will be increased. But you'll see the second part of the message here that says doubles the amount of Gleamite crystals gathered from Gleamite shards and chunks. So essentially, if you are going to be mining Gleamite to get some of your tokens, make sure you always have some of this food on you, because it's going to be very useful. Now, once you've got any of the related items that you need to exchange for the winter tokens, as you can see, each Warrior's Hail Spike will give you 10 tokens, every 6 Gleamite will give you 1, and every 3 recovered presents will also give you a token. Recovered presents are things that you will find around the world as you're walking around. You'll be able to interact with them and gather them as you are going along. Sometimes there's floating ones that you need to shoot down, and they'll give you extra. Sometimes it's going to be ones that are just on the side of the road. Make sure you're picking these up when you see them, because again, it's another great way to get yourself some tokens. Now, you can get all of your winter tokens. The premium ones do cost 25 winter tokens and a vial of suspended Azoth, and if you want to then reconvert them into regular tokens, one premium token will give you 25 regulars. So it's basically the same conversion forwards or backwards, but of course to make them into the premium ones you do need this suspended Azoth. So in terms of rewards this year, there is some really good stuff. Like I mentioned, the food itself isn't bad at all, and of course with the Gleamite buff it's super useful to have a little bit of it on you. But if you come down to the 4th tier here, as you can see, if you are on fresh start servers, you will have to rank up your event reputation again. If you're on legacy servers, you already have that from last year, then this will carry over, so you won't have to grind the reputation, just simply the tokens. Now, one of the main things to note here is that these patterns, although they are not specifically at 600 gear score like the tier 5 ones are, these are still really good as they essentially act as a timeless shard, but you do not need to put in a craft mod in order to choose the attribute. So if you wanted to pick up, let's say, the bow, for example, you could pick up the bow if you're able to craft 595 to 600, so you've got max engineering, with the trophies, with the set, with the food buff, and with the town buff as normal, then this pattern will essentially act as a timeless shard. But what these are also allowing players to do is pick an attribute without putting in the craft mod, so that's really useful. It's going to save you some craft mods there, and it's a really cheap way to get your hands on essentially a buffed timeless shard. So they only cost 10 regular winter tokens. As you guys can see, I have 114. That's basically every time you kill a winter warrior, you're going to get 20 or thereabouts, maybe more sometimes, maybe less other times, but it's going to average out at 20 tokens, which is essentially 2 of these patterns. So if you're going to be doing any crafting around this period, you certainly want to pick one of those up. Now, of course, you've got the emotes, you've got decorative stuff, but the other really important thing that you don't want to miss out on is the 600 gear score patterns. So these are guaranteed to be crafted at 600 gear score with that legendary status, if you, of course, have the materials, so you will need your Asmodeum and things like that. But these are going to be really good weapons and really good pieces of armor. Now, you do get some of these as a reward from completing the initial quest. As you guys can see here, I have the Holly Regent footwear and also the Aegis of Ice, which is the shield one that's kind of hidden by the camera here. But both of these were given to me as a quest reward for the first kill of the Winter's Warrior, which this Winter Wanderer gives you the quest for, which gives you the event rep and, of course, those rewards. So once you have got these patterns, you want to head over to the relevant crafting station, and as you guys will be able to see, you can actually pick whichever attribute that you would like, whether that be strength, dexterity, intelligence, focus, or constitution. You will need the relevant materials, so for example, for these boots right here, you would need a 14 runic leather, 8 phoenix weave, and 4 Asmodeum, as along with the pattern, and that is of course because they are medium footwear, so it's the equivalent of crafting leather boots. Now these items all come with the elemental aversion, corrupted ward, and luck, and that is going to be on every piece of armor from this event. It is a very decent corrupted ward set, particularly for those players that haven't already got one, or for anybody playing on the fresh start worlds. Corrupted ward and elemental aversion is always really good, and the luck thrown on there as well is really nice, especially for clearing expeditions. So this is probably going to be something that players are certainly going to want. Now, as you guys can see here, the shield is sure-footing, sturdy energy, and refreshing. Nothing too crazy, but all of the weapons do come with vicious, keenly jagged, and chain ice. So although this is not going to be completely BIS or best in slot, it is going to be pretty good for quite a few weapons to have these perks on. A lot of stuff is going to be basically without the attunement on there. That is still a very good perk combination with the vicious, the keenly jagged, and the chain ice, especially for the bow. We're looking at bows there. They're probably the best in slot right now. A lot of players consider that to be vicious, keenly jagged, and then an attunement perk. So this is kind of like one notch underneath that, but it is still going to be really good. And especially if we're looking at it as in terms of a dex weapon for defending against invasions or for PvE in general, it's going to be really good. And it's also going to perform well in PvP. So it's going to be a great weapon, and overall makes those 600 gear score patterns super worthwhile. So that is going to be everything that you will need to know about the Winter Convergence Festival, including how you can get your tokens, how to get involved in the event, how to farm your reputation, and of course what the rewards are there, specifically looking out for those patterns on both the 4th and 5th tier, as they're going to be super useful. Hopefully you all enjoy the event, get cracking on it, and let me know so far what your best rolls have been. Have you got any cool loot, and what reputation rank are you up to? Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you want to see more like this and keep up to date with all of the latest news and events in New World and Eternum, make sure you drop me a subscribe. If you like the video, there is a button for that down below, and other than that, I will catch you guys again very shortly on the next video. Take care, and peace.